The drama surrounding Shador Sanders has reached a fever pitch, and this time, the conversation isn't just about football. It's about narratives, agendas, and the brutal spotlight of the NFL. A moment that should have been remembered as simple sportsmanship has spiraled into something else entirely. When Shador walked over to rookie kicker Andre Szmyt after his crushing misses, gave him a dap, and told him he'd be fine, most saw it for what it was: leadership in the middle of chaos. But in Cleveland, nothing is ever that simple. Almost instantly, whispers began, claims that the gesture was staged, pre-planned to get Shador's face on camera. That's the madness of it. A player consoles a struggling teammate, and instead of being applauded, he's accused of clout-chasing. It says less about Shador's intent and more about the environment around him. The Browns machine, critics argue, has turned his name into a target. Every move he makes becomes ammunition for detractors determined to keep him boxed in. Whether it's a dap after a tough game or simply his presence on the sideline, the hate finds a way to twist the narrative. Browns insider Tony Rizzo couldn't hold back when addressing this so-called controversy. He called it exactly what it was: nonsense. Rizzo didn't just dismiss the accusations, he ripped them apart. There was no source, no credible report, no one inside the locker room who ever suggested this moment was anything but genuine. And then he asked the question no critic could answer. Since when did consoling a teammate become something wrong? The sad reality is that this isn't just about one post-game moment. The hate against Shador Sanders is relentless, and it carries an uglier undertone that can't be ignored. Time and time again, when a young black quarterback shows confidence, composure, or charisma, it gets painted as arrogance, ego, or selfishness. The NFL has seen this story before. And now, with Shador, the same script is being dusted off. His leadership is twisted into opportunism, his calm into calculated performance, his spotlight into undeserved hype. It's a narrative designed to make his climb harder than it should be. Meanwhile, the irony couldn't be more striking. Ownership itself actually wants Shador on the field sooner. Reports suggest Jimmy Haslam sees him as a magnet for attention, excitement, and most importantly, revenue. In an NFL where ratings mean power, Shador has become Cleveland's golden ticket. His charisma and growing fan base have pulled the Browns back into national relevance after a forgettable stretch. His name trends. His clips go viral. For a franchise that has often been defined by heartbreak, Shador has become their headline machine. Yet despite ownership's push, the same management tasked with developing him seems intent on burying him. The Browns kept him away from first-team reps in camp. They placed Joe Flacco, a veteran with his best days clearly behind him, above Sanders on the depth chart. Heading into Week 2 against the Ravens, Shador isn't QB1. He isn't even QB2. He's been relegated to third string, the emergency option. For a player hailed as the future of the franchise, that demotion speaks volumes about the politics at play. And it's not just politics, it's control. Keeping Sanders sidelined while simultaneously allowing smear campaigns to run unchecked serves a purpose. It justifies decisions to bench him. It keeps expectations managed. It protects the status quo. But what it doesn't do is silence the growing calls from fans and analysts alike who see the writing on the wall. Shador has the talent, the presence, and the potential. His market value is rising by the day. Teams across the league are circling, eager to pounce if Cleveland ever cracks the door open. That's where the Browns now find themselves trapped. If they keep Shador locked away, the pressure builds. Every loss with Flacco at the helm will only amplify the chance for Sanders. If they trade him, they risk watching him flourish elsewhere, becoming the star they never allowed him to be. And if they finally give in and start him, even a glimpse of his potential could make it impossible to ever sit him again. Journalists are already pressing the issue harder. Why keep a player you clearly don't trust enough to start? Why insist on protecting him if you're unwilling to use him? The contradictions are piling up. Fans, too, are restless. Many are beginning to believe a clean break would serve both sides. Let Shador go somewhere that values him, and let the Browns rid themselves of the endless noise. But that isn't so simple. Not when Haslam himself sees Shador as a business asset as much as a quarterback. Because make no mistake, this isn't just about football anymore. It's about branding. It's about money. Shador Sanders has already proven he's bigger than the box Cleveland is trying to keep him in. He's a name that trends outside of game day. A player whose presence alone keeps the Browns in national conversations they'd otherwise be absent from. Haslam knows this, and that's why he won't let him walk. But the longer he stays buried on the depth chart, the more the tension grows between the front office, the coaching staff, and the restless fan base. And that's what makes this saga so fascinating. Whether the Browns are winning or losing, the calls for Shedeur to play won't go away. If they stumble, fans will demand a spark. If they succeed, the questions will linger about why the future face of the franchise isn't part of it. Every week he remains benched is another week of speculation, another week of pressure, another week of scrutiny. When Sanders finally does touch the field, and he will, the entire dynamic changes. One solid performance, one flash of brilliance will be enough to ignite a firestorm. Critics will have to backtrack. Fans will rally. And Cleveland will no longer be able to justify keeping him in the shadows. For now, though, this is the crossroads. A rookie quarterback caught in the middle of agendas, business decisions, and a media circus that feeds on controversy. His every move dissected, his leadership dismissed, his presence politicized. And still, through it all, Shador Sanders shows the same calm he displayed with his kicker. Steady, confident, unshaken. The Browns may think they're controlling the narrative, but in truth, they're only fueling it. The more they try to box Sanders in, the bigger the story becomes. And eventually, the noise will reach a boiling point, because whether Cleveland wants it or not, the Shador Sanders saga is only just beginning. So what do you think, Browns fans? Is this all just a smokescreen by management to keep Shador Sanders down? Or is Jimmy Haslam really gearing up to force him onto the field sooner than expected? Should the Browns cut him loose and let him thrive elsewhere? Or is Cleveland the place where he'll finally prove himself? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss the latest updates on the future of Shador Sanders and the Browns.